So the problem that I'm seeing at this time, and the message I want to communicate, is that we cannot at all risk doing things business as usual, because the universe is designed to expand. That's the whole purpose of creation, is just to expand from a seed to blossom, from the seed of God to blossom as the infinite petals of creation. And at this time, this is happening through us as individuals, and as we blossom as individuals, the collective blossoms. So this is where we're at. And so my invitation is to not become complicit with your comfort zones, but to really, really let this year, let the big numbers 2, 2, 2 land, like fucking land. Like it's fucking 2022. I don't know about y'all, but I've been stoked. I've been waiting for this year. And every year this past decade, since 2012, has gotten more and more profound, more and more expansive than ever before, and has demanded in its pressures in my own life that I show up beyond where I ever thought that I could the year before. And of course, we're talking about a Gregorian calendar that's not rooted in the cycles of nature, but yet there's still some divine intelligence to everything, and there's still a collective frequency, there's still the numerological significance that acknowledges that everything in life is mathematically, divinely meaningful. And so all this to say that now we're in 2022, and obviously shit's beginning to hit the fan. Obviously shit on this planet is like a wild, fucking weird, catastrophic movie for many people. And there's so many things, if some people might not see it that way. If you're blessed to have some space from different levels of madness projected on social media or on the mainstream media or on the internet, you might be experiencing things very peacefully, very beautifully. You might feel the seed of nature, of creation, of life blossoming within you. But for many around the world, especially here in the Western culture, which is the reference that I'm speaking from, the pressure is on. Shit is beginning to hit the fan. And there's many different ways to look at it. And of course, things on this planet have always been challenging, have always been difficult, and in many ways we're also uplifted to a more beautiful, more empowered place than ever before. We have opportunities now in this year 2022 that have never been here before. And in truth, what I wish to bring through is that this is the opportunity we've always been waiting for, and this is your time, this is our time to show the fuck up, to let that calling in our heart, that passion that's been fueling over these years, that heartbreak that... Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Internet's being a bit wonky. I'm just gonna go on, but leave a message if you can hear me. So this is the time where all of those seeds of passion and inspiration that we've been feeling, that it's time for them to blossom, that it's time for us to do the work, to plant those seeds in the garden of this co-creative new earth reality that we're all a part of, and to really not take this year for granted, to not think that it's just any other year, because if we go on business as usual, we're going to be fucked. And of course, there are those of us who are awake and are already doing things differently, but I challenge even those of us who are awake and think we're ahead of the game to step our game up. Because there's always more that's needed, and there's really no more time to pretend that we are not needed at this time to show up fully. There's no more excuse for our laziness, for our apathy, for a lethargy, because the future, and this is really real and serious, right? This is not about some spiritual self-development thing for feeling good and feeling good about yourself and some superficial, materialistic, spiritual thing. Right now I'm talking about our future and our children and what these next years are going to bring, that are going to test us, and how now is the time to begin to seed our creative inspirations, activations, those things, those visions that we've seen for a greater world, for how we can show up, all the ways that we've been shown, that life has shown us and called us into our greatness, those times where we really got to feel our full empowered truth and who we really were under the conditions of the mass hypnosis around us, of the ways people have seen us and convinced us to see ourselves. This is a time to I call upon the part of you that knows your true, divine, multidimensional, empowered, loving, magical, graceful power and ability to create, an ability to be transparently and integrously focused on this highest devotion for service for humanity, on that burning thing inside you that has to be given to the world. This is a call that now is the time, that it's 2022 and it's time to start acting like it, to start living like it, to start honoring ourselves and taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves as if we've integrated the work and the lessons that we've learned about how precious and divine we truly are, and begin to show up for the work that's really, really needed to happen on this world, the very real work. Show up with that vigor, with that trust in how life is open now in this cosmic, beautiful year, to honor and bow in praise and gratitude for this 222, this divine gift of being here today, of how far we've come, how far our ancestors have brought us, how much work we've done to get here, to transform reality, to bring in the shift in consciousness, and to really honor and celebrate that, and know that this is just the beginning, and that now this is the year to not slow down, to not second guess ourselves, to not fall back into all those patterns, all those addictions, all those doubts, but to say enough is enough. It's not about me or who I think I am. It's about the world, the new earth being birthed through me. It's about all the generations to come whose lives depend on the actions I make today. And I want to remind you that this is a divine opportunity. This is a golden doorway this year to live the heaven on earth that you've been shown, and trust that the earth is now receptive, the earth is now ready, that life around is falling apart because it's our time to show up. So yeah, just an invitation for no more excuses, a permission slip to act and live and party like it's 2022, making the most of it, because it's on us to bring that forth from within. Just because life in our culture is not reflecting the divine invitation, the divine affirmation that our inner child might deeply need, to know that it's safe, to know that it's desired and needed to really show up in its full expression, in its full power. We have to be that knowing. We have to summon our knowing. We have to integrate the work we've done to get us to this place, and really begin to practice what we've been preaching. Really figure out practical, tangible ways to live into every single aspect of our lives, the transparency, the clarity of spirit, the necessity, the devotion, the impeccability, the prioritization of what is really important, and how there's so much around us that is going to be breaking apart, and there is so much suffering, there is so much collective darkness that is coming to the surface. And we are needed. Our hearts are needed now. There is suffering now in this world. Your heart is precious. It's medicine now in this world. You are free. You are God. You are sovereign. You are celebrated. You are reflected permission from me and all of humanity, the awakening collective, and those who do not know yet that they are already awake. Need you, are ready for you, are speaking through me, through you, saying, here we are now, manifesting heaven on earth, now, living into that, walking the talk, maturing, doing the work within, to hold ourselves accountable. Enough. We've looped back enough. It's time to move forward. And by that I mean it's time to land fully in the now. And no longer wait. This is permission. This is the sign you've been waiting for. That it's time to practice what we've been preaching, to walk the talk, to be the change we wish to see, and to live, to party, and to create like it's motherfucking 2022. Because life is one big co-creation. We are the creator, and we've created a situation where all that is not rooted in reverence and unity and balance with the rest of creation is being destroyed. So, my greatest prayer and invitation is that we all create like it's 2022 and know that it is our creation. That it's not time to scroll on Instagram and Facebook and the news and see what's happening out there, unless it's only going to inspire us to more deeply create what we want to see out there, starting within, starting with this year being taken seriously, no longer for granted, no longer taking life for granted, no longer taking this precious time for granted. Really, really honoring and loving ourselves as the precious bridges to this new world that we're all bringing in, and being that reminder for ourselves and one another that life here right now in this year is a setup to show up more authentically, more powerfully, more devotedly to who we know we are inside, as the world around us reveals all the places we've forgotten who we are, as life incarnate, as the universe, as God, as love. Life is calling on us to come together now and really encourage and inspire one another to show up fully with all that we have, as if we are this divine alignment, as if everything is aligned in our favor, and now is the go-ahead. Blessings on this new year. This is just the beginning. This is a prayer and an affirmation that it's now. It's time to lean into the now, no longer living in the past or predicting the future, but creating now. Love you, bro. Blessings.